Critical update. Why Nnamdi Kanu chose to remain in Sokoto Prison. Uchechi Okwu-kanu is speaking. She has come out to tell the world why the husband has preferred to remain in Sokoto Prison instead of transferred to Abuja Prison. She cited a lot of things and gave instances of the efforts she made personally to ensure that Nnamdi Kanu was transferred from Sokoto Prison to Abuja Prison. You know that the case of that very transfer was heard. The motion was heard on the 8th of December 2025. And Justice James Omotosho refused to grant or to allow his transfer. Rather, he adjourned the case to the 27th of January 2026. I will tell you why this is a critical update. Just stay with me. So, when that adjournment was made, the Lord gave me the prophecy of what was going to happen on the 27th of January 2026. So on the 11th of December 2025, I gave 6 powerful prophecies. Out of the 6 prophecies, one of them focused on the 27th January, which was the adjourned date on the motion for the transfer of Nnamdi Kanu. So the Lord spoke to me that there is doom, there is crisis that was coming to meet with that very date on the 27th of January 2026. And God opened my eyes. I saw that the seat of the judge was vacant. In other words, the judge that was supposed to give the ruling on the 27th of January was not on seat. Do you know what happened? On the 27th of January, the prophecy came to pass, but in a different way. It now became the lawyer, the legal aid that was provided for Nnamdi Kanu from the government. The government provided a legal aid so that Maazi will not represent himself personally. Remember, by now he's in Sokoto Prison. So 27th of January, the government appointed lawyer, the lawyer that was appointed by the government, refused to show up in court in fulfillment of the prophecy I gave on the 11th of December 2025. The lawyer withdrew and said no, that he was not going to defend Nnamdi Kanu, and he gave some reasons. Look at the screen, you will see the prophecy Crisis Unfolds. Very powerful prophecy alongside other prophecies I gave. Also remember that before Nnamdi Kanu was convicted on the 20th of November 2025, on the 18th of October 2025, I gave prophecy that they have chosen a date being the 4th of November 2025 to convict and to jail Nnamdi Kanu. The prophecy also came to pass. The only difference was that the date changed. There was no such date for any of Nnamdi Kanu's court case until the prophecy came 18th October that they want to jail him on the 4th of November, Tuesday, 2025. So they now adjourned this case to the 4th. The same date that was mentioned in prophecy was the date of the adjournment of his case. And then after 16 days later, being the 20th of November, they convicted him and jailed him. Now, the prophecy came about the 27th of January 2026, and it also came to pass. For the record, I have consistently advocated from the first day for my husband, Nnamdi Kanu, to be transferred from Sokoto Correctional Center. My concern was never political. It was humanitarian, legal, and practical. Sokoto is over 700 kilometers from Abuja, making family visits, legal consultations, and access to his cause or to his case unnecessarily difficult. While I was pursuing every available diplomatic and consular avenue to facilitate his transfer, my husband independently applied to the Federal High Court to be moved from Sokoto to Abuja so that he could better prepare and file aspects of his own case. So she is reporting what the husband did. My husband independently applied. Was it not his right to apply? At this time, Nnamdi Kanu was still defending himself. If he was being represented by legal team, wouldn't they have applied? So that he independently applied was not out of ignorance or out of arrogance or out of disagreement or misunderstanding of maybe the effort the wife was making to ensure his transfer. Now, the question is this. When you were making, this question goes to Uchechi, when you were making this arrangement from the consular, the British consular, and other diplomatic efforts you were making in quotes, did you tell your husband? Did you discuss with him? did you streamline the strategy, the purpose, the intent, the targets, and the terms and conditions should these processes you are using now or you are exploring works towards his transfer? Did you ever discuss with him? Did you bring it to his knowledge? What did he say? Did he tell you to go ahead? Did he tell you no? Did you discuss the terms and conditions? That is the question that Uchechi needs to answer. So he independently filed to the Federal High Court to be moved from Sokoto. I think I've explained that. On 8th December 2025, Justice James Omotoso rejected that application, ruling that such an order could not be made without first hearing from the government. Yes? And then he now adjourned to the 27th of January. And then the prophecy came on the 11th of December 2025, telling the Biafran people that there is a doom that is waiting for that very ruling on the 27th January 2026. And it came to pass. Also, the lawyer did not appear in court. Despite that setback, I continued pressing for his transfer through official channels. Eventually, I received confirmation from our case handler at the UK Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office that arrangement had been made for the transfer to proceed. Okay, this arrangement, Uchechi continued to make her own arrangements with the consular, Commonwealth and all that, UK, to ensure the transfer of the husband succeeds outside the court judgment, outside the court ruling. You need to understand this. Eventually, according to what she said here, they received a confirmation that the transfer could proceed. That was what she said here. The transfer could proceed. When did she receive this confirmation? Was it in between the 8th of December 2025 and the 27th January 2026 that was supposed to be for the ruling of that transfer? She did not state exactly between when and when she got that confirmation. So we cannot really speak categorically on that. What I understand is this. She was making this arrangement and Maxwell Nnawuihe Kanu applied by himself to the court. In other words, Maxwell Nnawuihe Kanu wanted it to come from the court judgment, from the court ruling, that the court has ruled and approved that he should be transferred from the Sokoto Correctional Center to Abuja. That is what Maxwell Nnawuihe Kanu was expecting. So he wanted it to be official. He wanted it to come from the government. He wanted it to pass through the judicial process that, yes, the court has ruled that I should be transferred from Sokoto Prison to Abuja. Whereas the wife was making a different arrangement. And remember, as I asked earlier, did she discuss with the husband the condition for this arrangement coming from the British government to be transferred from Sokoto to Abuja prison? We don't know. But from my own understanding, I believe if you agree with me, you can type in the chat section. If you disagree, you feel free also to type in the chat section. Maybe Maxwell Nnawuihe Kanu wanted it to be official. He wanted it to come from the court. She continued, it was at that point that I was informed that my husband had declined to be moved from Sokoto. Naturally, I wanted to understand why. I think I've explained maybe the possible reason why Maxwell Nnawuihe Kanu rejected her own arrangement. Okay? I don't want to insinuate anything apart from this, because some people are of the opinion maybe the arrangement was to kill Maxwell Nnawuihe Kanu on the way or for something wrong to happen. I think to some extent, we may look into that. Because remember, as I said seconds ago, Maxwell wanted his transfer to be officially approved by the government. He wanted it to come through the court of Nigeria. He wanted the judge to rule it. So, in as much as the judge did not rule it, and then this other arrangement is coming, which is not official, which did not come through the court, he rejected it. Maybe for security reasons. Maybe, let it not be that it's a setup, that the court refused to transfer you from Sokoto to Abuja. You now on your own, you want to force yourself out of Sokoto prison where the court has ruled you should remain, pending the ruling on the 27th January. So whatever that happens to you, the court or the Nigerian government cannot be held accountable. Maybe that was why, for his own safety. That's why he wanted his transfer to be official. Also, remember that before now, many members of the sacked DOS, they have been saying that Maxwell Nnawuihe Kanu refused to be transferred from Sokoto prison. or that he refused to be remanded at any of the nearby prisons. That has been the rumor that had been going on before Uchechi made this official statement. I think she said this on the 29th of July 2026. Before now, they have said it. They have accused Maxwell Nnamdi Kanu that he refused to serve in any of the prisons, whether in Port Harcourt or Calabar or any nearby prison, that he preferred to go to Sokoto. That was what they have been saying as in rumor. But now we are hearing from the wife that Maxwell Nnamdi Kanu refused transfer from Sokoto to Abuja. Now, what she wrote here continues. Let's see if we can conclude here. Following my insistence, it was relayed to me that he believed the earlier rejection of his own application had been manipulated. Remember what I said a few minutes ago. From his perspective, there was no legitimate reason for the court to have refused his request in the first place. Because of that, he decided to remain in Sokoto. Because of that, he decided to remain in Sokoto rather than accept a transfer that came through a different process. Is it clear to you now? I've explained that earlier before now. His position, as it was communicated to me, was that if he was eventually to regain his freedom, he preferred to go directly from Sokoto. Who related to her? Who told her? Who gave her this information? Was she not in communication with the husband? Was she dependent on the third party? Was she dependent on any other person to hear from the husband? Or was she not able to hear from the husband directly? I don't think it was impossible for her to have communicated with the husband to hear from him directly. She was speaking based on the report that was given to her. People are free to agree or disagree with that decision. My purpose in sharing this is simply to clarify the sequence of events, because there has been considerable speculation over the months. My own position never changed from day one. I believed that transferring him to Abuja was in his best interest for his safety, for his welfare, his access to legal representation, and his family's ability to visit him. I pursued that objective consistently until I was informed that he had chosen otherwise. Until I was informed, which means you have not been in communication with your husband. Why is it that it was people that we are telling you? I was informed. It was relayed to me. I was informed. It was relayed to me. They told me. Does it mean that the correctional center or the government or any of the authorities blocked you from having access to discuss with your husband, visiting your husband in the prison to hear from him? That you're now dependent on what people told you, what people informed you about his decision to remain in Sokoto Prison. So, which means, I don't know if I'm correct or not, which means she may not have discussed the condition of that transfer she was looking for, that transfer she was working on with the British government. Maybe she did not discuss with the husband the condition for the transfer. And like as I said minutes ago, the husband, being Nnamdi Kanu, decided that inasmuch as the court did not rule in his favor, the court did not approve his transfer, that he will not accept any other arrangement apart from the court ruling for his transfer. So that is so critical. That is so critical. Now, type in the chat section, could it be that Maxwell Nnamdi Kanu rejected the other arrangement for his transfer, which Uchechi made, according to her? Remember, there was no details. Could it be that he rejected it for his safety? Or based on what I said, that he wanted the court to rule, he wanted it to be official, he wanted it to be legal, he wanted it to be a legal document, that the court approved his transfer from Sokoto Prison to Abuja. And now that the court did not approve it, he didn't want any other arrangement that will not serve as a legal document, so that tomorrow he will not be accused of running away from Sokoto Prison to Abuja Prison. You know what happens in Nigeria? Even if the Nigerian government is aware of that British government's arrangement to transfer him, They may keep quiet until he accepts it and be transferred. Tomorrow, they may use it against him that it was not through the court, that the court of competent jurisdiction did not rule on his transfer from Sokoto to Abuja. Please type your thoughts in the chat section. Type your thoughts in the chat section. If you have not liked this video, please like and share it immediately. If you are new to Maxwell Nnawuihe YouTube channel, I want you to subscribe immediately for more updates, breaking news, prophetic declarations and prayers and prophecies for Nnamdi Kanu, for Biafra and other aspects of life. I will definitely see you again.
Subscribe on YouTube, TikTok, X, Facebook, and Instagram. Follow Maxwell Nnawuihe for more updates. Follow us on YouTube, TikTok, X, Facebook, and Instagram for more updates.